Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we had a great question from a gentleman by the name of Pete. He was asking about his image slider and he wanted to put a button over the top of it. So that's what we've done here. We've got our little image slider. It's got a button on the top of it. You can still increment through your slides, but you can also hover over the button and click on it, take your visitors where it is you want to take them. Really easy to do. There's no coding involved in this at all today. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to work. Here's our original. I'm just going to delete this row, the green tab, and we'll start from scratch. I'm going to add a new row, a little green button to add a row. Use whatever structure works for you. I'm going to use 2 columns for mine today. Divi comes as standard with all these light grey modules, plenty enough to build just about any site. We're going to use the Gallery module for this today. It's going to open up, it throws in a couple of random images up there. You can choose your own images by just clicking on the little button over here, Add Gallery Images. And let's throw in those same ones as I did before. Once loaded, it puts in a bit of information down the bottom, the title and things like that, and puts your images in a sort of grid here. If you want to change them around the order, just simply left click on one, move it to where you want it, release it. If you want to delete one, just hover over, there's a little trash can there, you can delete them however you want. At the moment it's only set to show 4. I'm going to leave that as it is because it's irrelevant. I'm going to have this as a slider rather than a grid. Element wise, I don't really want to display any title and caption, and I don't really want to show any pagination underneath. Okay, well let's move on to our design here, the design tab at the top. First one is layout. I'm going to change it from grid to slider, and in a little while I'll automate this so it goes between the two. But what we want to do is add a button over the top of this, so not only can we increment back and forth, but we've got a call to action button round about here. Obviously you put yours wherever you want. So let's get the button organized. I'm going to save what I've got going on here. I'm going to add a new module. Funnily enough, I'm going to use a button module. And there it is, there's my default button. Reason mine's purple with a blue on hover, that's the way I've got it set up in my default button in the main Divi settings. Okay, well let's change this. I want my button to say, oh, I don't see more, I guess. Obviously you put what you want your button to say. Let's go to my design now, alignment. I want that button to be centered. But of course I want it to be on top of our little slider up here. So I'm now going to go down to spacing. On the top, to get it to move up, we need to give it negative margin. So if you increment down, it'll go to -1. Let's try, I might try a percentage. Let's try 20%. That is not bad. That's not too bad at all. But I'd like to see a bit of the image through that button because it's blocking out a bit of the image. And we'll take care of that in a minute. Now we want to make sure this is going to work on tablet and most mobile also. Common to all Divi modules, if you roll up over the dark writing within a module, you'll see some little icons appear. Little mobile phone icon, click on it, and we can set different values for desktop, tablet and mobile. So let's click on the tablet, roll on down to wherever that slider was. There it is. Actually that button's not too bad there. I'm going to leave that just where it is. If you wanted to adjust it, you could do so here. Let's try -15. -15%. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's try it on the phone. Now on the phone, that's actually okay. Because the button's so large and the actual gallery is small on a phone, I don't know that I have the button on top of it, but that's entirely up to you. If you want to put it on the top, let's put maybe another negative 30%. It's on top there, but I might even have this just underneath. So just put a 0 in there and it'll be just underneath, but that's entirely up to you where you want to put yours. So on phone we've got that, or this if you want to put it on top. Entirely up to you. Tablet, we got that. And desktop, we've got that. And all of those work for me. Now these work well. When you've got your site live, you really want to check these on the actual devices themselves. This will get it pretty close, but you may need to tweak them on the actual devices. So it's really important you check these once you've got your site live. Great. Well, as I'd like to see a bit of that image behind our button, so I'm going to close up my spacing. I'm going to go down to the button right here, use custom styles. I'm not going to go crazy. All I'm going to do is background color, we'll keep it purple, but I'm going to click on the field and bring this opacity slider, the variegated slider, down until I can see some of the image through it. And let's perhaps give it a little white border for definition. So I'm rolling down, I'm going to put a 1 pixel border on there. Great, that works perfectly for me. So let's save that and let's automate our little slider now so it revolves around. So I'm going to go back into the slider, dark tab of the module. Over in the design tab, I'm going to roll down. Right at the bottom, you'll find animation. Now these animation styles are for page load. The one we want today is the automatic animation. I'm going to switch this to on. By default, it gives it 7,000 milliseconds or 7 seconds before it's going to rotate to the next one. I'm going to change that to about 4 seconds or 4,000 milliseconds, just so you don't have to sit here for 7 seconds every time it rolls around. And we should be good to go. Let's save our changes now. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. We'll roll on down. There's our little slider. And immediately I see a problem. I can't see my button there. Now if this happens to you, it's because of what they call the Z index. It means our image is on top of our button. We want it the other way around. We want to make sure the button's on top of the image. So let's go back in there and we'll fix that. Let's go down. Here's our little gallery. Let's go into this button module. And did you see it flickering right there when I did it? Let's just close that out. If you have trouble getting into it, because it may be stuck behind your gallery as we've given it negative margin, what you can do is hit the little purple button on the bottom. Little icon on the left hand side, wireframe view. If you click on that, it'll take us to the back end. There's our gallery, there's our button. You can easily get in there that way. And then once you're in there, flip back to your desktop. Okay, well let's go in there. I'm going to go to the advanced, down to position. Here we'll find Z index. Now Z index is what dictates what modules appear in front or on top of other modules. Lower numbers will always be behind higher numbers. So it's got a 0 right there. Let's maybe give it 30. I think the default used to be 8 for Divi modules, but now we've upped that to 30. It seems to be on top fine there, but it did before. Let's just check it on the other end. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save my draft. And let's exit the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's go down. And there we go. Our button is now appearing on the top, which is exactly what we want. And people can still click and go through these images forward and backwards. They can also hover over the button and you can take them wherever you want to take them, perhaps to another gallery page or something like that. And that's a great little addition to your gallery. Like I say, really easy to do, nice little feature. So I hope that's answered that question. And don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a demo video. Once again, this has been Jamie with System 22, and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.